Hey everybody, Tom Bullington here with Coldwell Banker Realty. Hope all of you are doing great. It is the 22nd of December, so the first full day of winter here in 2023. And it really doesn't feel that way, does it? It's about 42 degrees right now. It's going to be 53 here on Christmas Eve, getting down into the 30s next week, maybe, but there's no snow in the forecast at all for the rest of the year. So it's going to be kind of a brown Christmas, and in some cases a green Christmas if you're looking around at various yards. But that's not what we're here to talk about today. It's just a little bit weird and worthy of note for future years when these videos are watched that we didn't have any snow for Christmas 2023. Anyway, wanted to talk to you today about inspections and expectations of when you're buying a house, even when you're having a house built, the home that you're purchasing is not going to be perfect. So I think even if you're building a home, even if you are buying a new construction home with one of these builders out there, Lennar, whoever it might be, not to pick on Lennar, but there's plenty of home builders out there. You're looking at issues that might come up. So whether it's new, used, whatever it might be out there, you're going to have some issues with your home. Now, is that a good thing? It's not necessarily good, but it's an expectation that you should have, a realistic expectation that you should have when you're purchasing a home, whether or not it's new construction or not. And what do I mean by that? Well, there's always a tick list of things that need to be done. Let's just talk about new construction. So I've done some open houses. I've done some work with new construction in the past. And it seems inevitably you're dealing with human beings building these homes, first of all. So regardless of what the builder is, it really is not going to matter. You're going to have some mistakes. You're going to have some slip-ups out there, whether it's something with the electrical or something with the craftsmanship of the woodwork or the flooring or whatever it might be, a window, anything that you can paint, anything imaginable that you can point to in a new construction home. There's going to be some element of the home that's not going to be perfect. Can you get 99% perfection? Probably, but you're not going to be 100%. So this is why builders will offer, if they're a good builder, they'll offer a warranty, a limited time warranty for their workmanship. As far as if you have any issues with the home, they will come in, they will fix it up, they will make sure that it's all made right. But I just want to kind of disperse that expectation of if you're building a new home or you're buying a new home that's already previously built, a spec home, a model home, there's going to be something wrong with it. So just, be ready for that. Same goes for existing homes. You can have it remodeled, you can have it renovated, or even if it's not renovated or remodeled, obviously you're going to have some issues with it. It's a matter of what your expectations are, setting your expectations realistically, as well as making sure that you're aware of something going into a home, what the issues are going to be as you purchase the home. So this is why we do home inspections, correct? So I've talked about this over the years on these videos. You can go back, you can look at the videos. I never encourage a buyer to buy a home either sight unseen, which I think is ridiculous, or without an inspection. So if you're going to have an inspection waiver, if you're going to waive your inspection on a home, you're really setting yourself up for a lot of potential surprises in the future. So what I always try to recommend to my buyers, if I'm out there with buyers, make sure you get the home that you're purchasing inspected. We have great inspectors out there that do a lot of good work that can show you issues with the home. It doesn't mean you have to insist on those issues getting fixed right away before you close, but it is nice to know before you get into a home, before you're spending hundreds of thousands of dollars on a home, you know what to anticipate. If it's an older home and it's a fixer-upper, yes, you're going to know that you've got tens of thousands of dollars of repairs lined up in the future. Budget accordingly for that. Have that expectation. If you're buying something that is supposedly renovated or remodeled, I would still have it inspected. That way, you know, despite what the seller is telling you, you know exactly empirically what is up with the house. I've had a number of clients out there that have purchased a home. The seller says that he or she has had it inspected or they've had it renovated or things fixed or checked up, and it hasn't been the case. And they've had their own people come in with an inspection and realize, ooh, the furnace is on its last legs, or the water heater's gonna go any moment, or something like this, or there's a crack in the ceiling that was not disclosed by the seller. Doesn't mean the seller is trying to screw you over. It just means that you have to do your due diligence when you're spending $300,000, $400,000, or $500,000 on a home. You want to make sure that you know what you're getting into. So it's an educational process. We're kind of beyond the years of where we had the low interest rates, the 2s and the 3s, of people waiving inspections. I still, at that point, did not encourage my buyers to waive inspections, just to get the house. Just because there's so much that could be wrong with the house that is, upon first glance, when you're looking at the home, you only maybe have a half hour, 45 minutes in the home, you're looking around, you're trying to make sure everything looks okay. Let's just say it looks okay. An inspector, the only way they're going to know is if they get in the crawl space, if they start looking at the pipes, if they start looking at the HVAC, the utilities, the wiring, those things like that. So making sure that you have an inspector go in, even if it's someone that you know that's a contractor or someone you know personally that's good with these types of things, make sure he or she takes a thorough look at the home before you seal the deal. So you can offer on a house, you can put a price forward and say, we're going to have this contingent on an inspection. Typically what happens, and then there's about like a 7 to 10 day period in there where you can hire an inspector, go in, set up for an inspection time. It's typically about 3 hours or so. The inspector will give you a report. Typically inspections are about $500 to $600 now. It's gone up quite a bit. It used to be about $350 or $400. Typically around $500 or $600 now. They should, if they're worth it, give you pictures, give you an analysis of the home, all of the main things that need maintenance, kind of a color coding thing. One of the inspectors I use has a color code where it's red, yellow, green. So a red is needs to be fixed. Need to either ask for it to be fixed from the seller, or you're going to need to fix it, or it's dangerous. Yellow is could go either way. It's an issue, but it probably is not going to be a deal stopper. Green is things look good. There might be a glitch here and there, but we want to have you have pretty much confidence that things are going to be okay with it. Some of the things that you should really want to make sure are okay, obviously heating, cooling, utilities, main appliances. The roof is huge too. The foundation, if you have a cracked foundation, not a good thing. So there's lots of issues that could come up, and you want to make sure an inspector looks at the home before you commit to it. Because once you commit to it, once it goes to pending status, there is very little you can do to get out of that deal in Minnesota. So just to let you know that. So whether it's a new construction, an existing home, or something that you've just built, completely built, or it's a prefab sort of thing that it's been assembled somewhere else. My wife's, one of her homes that she grew up in, It was a prefab. They built it at a factory in 2 different parts, and they put it together on the actual land that my father-in-law bought. Kind of cool, but you wouldn't know it. But it was a great house. But they built the foundation, and then they plunked down these 2 parts of the home right on top of it. That can be a thing. Even if you're looking at a mobile home or a van or whatever you might live in, you want to make sure to have it looked at, have it inspected, and go through that list, because there's always something in there that could be fixed or could be an issue. So that's just that's my unsolicited advice of making sure that you just have realistic expectations when you're going in a home. Very seldom do sellers try to deceive you when they are selling a house. If most people, when they're putting a home on the market, they are honestly disclosing what they've done with the house, if there's any issues with it, if there have been issues, has it been fixed, has it been remedied, or is it something that's outstanding that needs to be done? That's a commitment of the seller, especially when they're dealing with a real estate agent. That's another caution for buying a home that's a for sale by owner. You're not exactly sure. You may not have the legal paperwork to back you up if you're purchasing something like that for $400,000, $500,000. As they say, buyer beware. That's another reason to at least have a facilitator, at least have a licensed agent act as your facilitator when you're purchasing a home for sale by owner, just to make sure that you're legally covered, that you're not buying something that legally, if something goes wrong, you can't come back and complain. It's basically yours. You broke it, you buy it, sort of thing. So, or if there's something that's undisclosed, you want to make sure that it's all covered. Another reason for a home warranty too. So if you have any questions along the way, 651-402-6356, on the web at Tom Bullington Homes, and we'll talk to you next time.